Hey y'all, DJ Mikey Myers is in the house. He's gonna play some slashing tunes for you now so you can make some shapes while there's murder on the dance floor. Let's go, let's hit this.
Hey! It was the kilted Mike Myers. Let's get rid of that for a second. Now, folks, having been asked to do this, in fact, I was asked a while ago, over a year ago in fact, to review the full score for the 2018 version of Halloween. You know, the sequel, and by John Carpenter again, you know, his score, and his son, and the other guy whose name I always forget. Is it on here somewhere? Yeah, well, it isn't. And I never got around to doing it. I did record a few videos on a couple of tracks. Like, let's get this camera just right. There we are. That's a bit better, isn't it? And I never got around to doing a review of the full score. Probably a good thing, because now we have the full extended version of the score. Now, if you're a John Carpenter devotee, as I know many of you are, you would have known this was coming. So many of his scores have received expanded editions, okay, albeit many, many years after the event. But such was the humongous, worldwide success of Halloween 2018. I have my misgivings about the film. If you've been following me, then you'll know the problems I've got with it. But I still love the fact that that guy is back on the scene, and I love the music from the movie as well, and I love that new mask as well. Sacred Bones released the soundtrack to it, and it was a very generous, lengthy score. You know, it pretty much covered everything that you expected to be there. Only a few slight omissions that I knew about, and it was a rip-roaring success. Like the film itself, it was one of the biggest selling soundtracks of 2018 on vinyl, streaming, and download, and on CD as well. So it's a big success. It was obvious it was going to get an extension, and a year later it has. And it came out a few days ago, and I got it immediately. But I'm just getting around to actually really listening to it and assessing the differences. Now, what I will say about it is I am a huge fan of extended soundtracks. I know a lot of people aren't. They like the initial releases because what tends to happen, or what happens a lot, is the composer puts out an album version. So it's like divorced from the movie. You'll get like the music is arranged and produced maybe differently. The tracks are slightly alternate in sound and quality and instrumentation. But it should be, the core elements of that film score. All the bits you hear from the film should be on there. All the major tracks and cues that you know and love, they should be on there. Extended versions or complete soundtracks will differ because you get lots of little bridges and sort of very small cues which are linking scenes together. So when these come out on the full score, sometimes that dilutes the momentum and the flow of the score that you originally loved because of its original presentation. I totally understand that. But I'm one of those that loves to have, if I can get the complete thing, I want the complete thing. I don't want to dick around with any half measures. So, but at the same token, I also concede that, as I just said there, these extra bits, if they're actually not like bonus tracks, if they're actually integrated into the full run of the score itself, they can dilute, stymie, and sort of offset that momentum which you got used to. Just for the sake of it being there. But, digital age now, you can program them out. So, and put them in a little suite of your own concoction. You can do whatever you want. You can become the producer of your own extended full scores if you want to. You shouldn't have to do it, but sometimes it's inevitable. Now, with this, I adore the original release from Sacred Bones. I thought it had drive. It was aggressive. The spooky little incidental moments were worked a treat. But the momentum was continuous. It genuinely drove and built and built and built, and culminated in the fantastically epic track Halloween Triumphant, which is 7.5 minutes of just the theme going through its various permutations. That Halloween theme. No one can deny that John Carpenter's iconic, 5/4 bongo rhythm for Halloween is as iconic and as well known as the theme from Jaws and the theme from Psycho. Just to list the biggest horror themes and anthems that you could ever hope to imagine worldwide. Everybody knows them. Everybody knows Halloween theme. And it is gloriously catchy. But you have all the other themes as well that go with it. Now, this extended version, which has wonderful cover art of the shape, that mask, wreathed in flames, because of course the final shot of him, he's like trying to get out the fire trap that Laurie Strode has created for him. He's down there in the basement, he can't get out, inferno ensues. Of course, we all know the fucker has got out, because in a year's time, we'll all be gearing up to watch Halloween Kills, fucking shit title, and then a year after that, Halloween Ends. Oh shit, is it? Halloween Ends. God, I've forgotten. Whatever. Whatevs. Halloween's something, Michael Myers, again, Halloween goes on and on and on and on, ... forever, ! And then some. But this score adds 28 minutes of extra music. I still don't know if it's complete, if it's the complete score. I would have thought it was, to be honest. I can't really imagine anything else going into this, which has been omitted. I can't imagine anything. But I think it amounts to sort of like 24 minutes of extra music. Hang on, 28 minutes of extra music, 24 tracks. Let's get this right. And it does do that thing where it slows the whole thing down. But as Carpenter himself has said, with this release, you get a more immersive experience inside the score that he created. A lot of these tracks are small, they're minimal, they are sound textures, they are just sonic plateaus, very, very akin to, if you listen to the full scores for the likes of Big Trouble in Little China and Prince of Darkness, yes, you've got that driving momentum and the main themes and the really atmospheric stuff, but you've also got little tiny bridges here and there, little cues that are just, seeking one scene to another, and they're just mood setters, just little pieces just to, keep the ooky spooky atmosphere going. But individually, they don't amount to a great deal, and this has its fair chunk of those. So I would put this release firmly in the brackets of the full Big Trouble in Little China, the full Prince of Darkness. Whereas most of the other scores, like Assault on Precinct 13, original Halloween, Halloween 2, Halloween 3, that propulsive rhythm, that gradual build seems to be far more sustained, even in their complete versions. So, An Escape from New York, how could I miss that off? We couldn't talk about The Thing, because The Thing, the only bits that John Carpenter did for The Thing was the little bits like this, the little moody interludes, the little sound textures, because the rest was down to Ennio Morricone, of course. Let me wet my whistle with, yes, we're still drinking Carver, because there still is no whiskey in the hizzy. What's the world coming to? Brexit! I blame Brexit. So, let's play a couple of extra tracks. Now, the track rundown is in film sequential order, very firmly. So let's play a couple of little bits. Right, you've got, okay, I'm not going to play them all. You've got the story of Judith's death. Now, this obviously plays over when the two British reporters go to the cemetery to see Judith, where Judith Myers was buried, Michael Myers' sister. And Michael, who's out from the asylum, Smith's Grove, the prison bus is overturned and all that kind of shit. He's lurking in the background, watching them, Now again, let's see if we can turn this up. Bit of a crackle there, wasn't there? Cold, bleak, foreboding. Just a tonal, sense of mystery. You have the gas station, which follows on directly. Michael's going to do some carnage here. Again, you can see what I'm getting at now with these just moody, sliding tonalities. Gleaming, icy, spectral. Carpenter is a master at this sort of thing. He doesn't just do pounding synth rhythms, catchy riffs. Menace aplenty. Now see, there are tracks before this. I'm obviously not going to play them all because I would probably run into a fair bit of trouble anyway with YouTube and Sacred Bones. But hey, Sacred Bones, loving you guys. Your vinyl, by the way, is fantastic. Especially this one, where the flames appear to actually be moving around the mask. Clever stuff. Bravo, chaps. Let's move on again. Gas station aftermath. This would be the finding of the bodies and all this, you know. Michael's rampage, because Michael's now got the mask as well. See, these are quiet, reflective moments. You know, you're probably sitting there going like, well, this is exciting, Kilt-Man. I'm just showing you what the extension of this score does, what it adds to it. And it does break down that sort of endless, progressive drive and sinister verve that the original soundtrack had. It's Carpenter and co on, you know, downtime. Just sitting in the shadows, just noodling away on keyboards. That's it. Again, another very subtle piece. Let's go to, I mean, there's the sort of stuff you know and love. Let's go. Okay. You've got that mad Dr. Sartain, Sam Hain, Satan, you know, who's fascinated by Michael. This is one of the things I fucking detest about the movie. It doesn't fit, it doesn't belong, it is ridiculous that he wants to become Michael. He wants to set him free, to see him in the wild. Michael only killed fucking 5 people, you know, or whatever it was. Not that many. It's just ridiculous. Why revere this guy? You've got to appreciate the sliding, glacial textures that Carpenter comes up with. This sounds vintage Carpenter, you know. It has the sound of the old synthesizer. Okay. See, again, there's not a great deal there, is there? Talking to cops. So Michael's back at Haddonfield now. He's already killed a few people. Laurie feels vindicated. Laurie, who everyone thought was, oh, you're a crackpot. He ain't never coming back. Of course, this is the night he's going to come home again. So you can see what I'm getting at. That's a very brief cue. What happened in that? Nothing. Just a sliding sort of scale of glacial iciness. Gun closet. Okay, this one's not too bad. Because you've got a bit of beat behind this. You've got this predominance with these tones. But you can sense there's a sinister, you know, sort of progression beginning here. Things are going to sort of up in pace. Windy Pops with the Carver. Again, not a great deal here. If you're playing the full score, you do get invested more because of these little pauses. This is a new track again. But Kilt-Man, this is the theme, isn't it? Yes, it is, but it's a new track to hear. And it's called I've Got Eyes. Something like that, is it? I've Got Eyes. It's a Halloween theme in brackets. I've Got Eyes. And the weird thing about this builds and builds, and then suddenly just stops. We'll let it play out. See? Just when you were getting going. So what's that about? Okay, right after this you've got Sartain's Gone Mad. Now this will be when he's killed Will Patton's Sheriff Hawkins. He's killed him and he's going to put the mask on. And poor old Alison, Laurie's granddaughter, is locked in the back of the police car. And they've bundled in the body of Michael Myers, who's been run over. And Sartain's going to start saying about, his grand scheme of things. So this is him. The supposed shock revelation. Shit revelation is the way I would term it. Pure bollocks. And again, it's underscore. It's moody, it's certainly got its atmospheric place within the picture and the ongoing experience. But is there really much going on? These sort of tracks are wonderful. You're lying in bed, turn all the lights out, play this, or in your studio or wherever, your home cinema, have it, all the speakers, immerse yourself totally engulfed in these textures. Not a great deal. Not a great deal. A lot of these extra tracks are sense of foreboding. It's just to build that grim quality. They're not action cues. Well, there's a little bit, but mainly not. A bit of piano. I mean, it's gentle, melancholy. Not great though, is it? Okay, let's go for Mannequin Panic. Laurie has all these mannequins which she's been using for target practice, and in a very botched sequence, David Gordon Green is not a good horror director, I don't care what anyone says. His stuff's announced 10 miles away. There is no sense of suspense built in his direction at all, I don't find. Hopefully he's learned from this experience and he'll be better in Halloween Kills, I hope. But Laurie has a room full of these mannequins and Michael's obviously hiding amongst them, but it's not done very well. That sounds a bit like Brad Fiedel and Terminator, doesn't it? And fuck me, it's over. Just when it got interesting, it's over. But we've got Death Drum next. This starts off really quiet, does build to something. So I've only heard this full score, this full extended score, all the way through twice. And the first time I thought, oh, I'm disappointed because that has slowed things down. It doesn't appear to have added anything of value. And this is the completist talking here, who must have every note. And then I played it again, and yeah, I got the gist. I thought, okay, it's breaking it down, and it's adding a sense of sinister, fateful, melancholy, which does work. Well, this Death Drum, this does add something. I'm sure it does. ain't adding much, is it? Sure something happens in this. Fuck you, Carpenter. Sod all. That was worth waiting for, wasn't it? The grind. This is the Shape and Laurie fight. That is on the old thing. The grind. This is new, isn't it? Sure, this is new. Could be wrong. I was going to check that actually. Where is it now? Where is it? Oh god. Oh no, the grind's on the old one as well. Oh bloody hell. Folks, what you're getting here is not that exciting, is it? The score is brilliant. The score is fast, powerful, dynamic, aggressive, frightening. It contains the Halloween theme and a few new ones to an excellent accelerated degree. You haven't heard any of them here because I have covered the score before, not in a full review, but playing a couple of hand-picked tracks. I have basically played you a lot of the new stuff that's on this extended album. And you can quite clearly hear that there's not a great deal, unless you, like me, are a completist. What are you going to gain from this? And I am not dissing the release at all. I'm glad I've got it. If the two releases existed and I had neither, I would go for the extended, obviously. And coming to it, say you came to that extended release first, then that momentum, that drive, that pace would work. You would have the build-up and then the interludes. The build-up, the interludes, gradually getting bigger and bigger and bigger. But if you got that first release, it would be more relentless and more exciting, non-stop experience. Musically speaking, of course. So, let's see now. That was the grind. Oh, hang on. Let's just check this again. Trap the Shape. This is good. This is good trap. That pounding's really good. What I'm doing, folks, is no. This sounds like very much like Halloween 3, I think. As I always say, a very horribly underappreciated movie. I think it's great. Great story, great idea, great concept. Brilliantly done as well. And the score is fabulous. This is Halloween 3. Carpenter and co are on board for Halloween Kills, and almost certainly the final movie in this new trilogy. And Halloween Kills does look like it's taking on the aspect of the original Halloween 2. So some of it, if not all of it, is going to be set in and around Haddonfield General Hospital, which is where in Halloween 2, the original one, Laurie got whisked off and Myers went after her again, and caused hospital rampage. And it's a brilliant film, and I still despise the fact that they ignore that film. You've had him burn supposedly to death in this movie, but he's clearly survived. So why not keep Halloween 2 in the canon of this timeline? The whole thing about him being, Laurie's brother, you actually address it in 2018 version. Oh yeah, wasn't there some report that they were brother and sister? Yeah, that was just made up for the papers. You could have kept that line, could have kept it, and it would have just fucking, put a lid on that rather naff, revelation. Horror genre's answer to Darth Vader being Luke Skywalker's dad, Fucking crazy. Let's get on to Halloween Triumphant, because let's end on a fucking good note, because what do you guys think about that? What do you think? There's earlier tracks, but they're not brilliant. Again, they're just the same sort of thing. Moody extensions, atmospheric interludes, just tonalities. No new themes, because the themes are already there, liberally used throughout the score. This, you can almost imagine that Carpenter may have thought, look, this is my last stab at doing a Halloween movie, 2018. Not realising the film's going to be such a mega success, and it was going to go on and on. Although, fucking hell, bit of a no-brainer, really. So he put everything into this epic track, Halloween Triumphant. It is excellent. And of course, you've got the grungy guitar bit as well, like, you know, and that'll be Cody, his son. I do apologise to the other guy in this triumvirate. And I've seen you on stage as well. I've seen Carpenter twice, a couple of years ago. I was dressed as Snake Plissken, with the full gear, all authentic as well, with the life clock as well. And the purple tourniquet around his leg after he gets the crossbow bolt in his leg. Oh yeah, nothing but accuracy there. I don't know if you can hear, but someone is thudding their way down the stairs. Kind of spooky that, because everyone in this house, everyone who lives in Kilt mansions, they're small, little, thin people. So how do you get big, boom, 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 footsteps on the stairs like that? Someone's giving someone else a piggyback. I know, like, you mosh pitters probably love that. I don't mind it, it's a bit of a different take on it, but I'm not the hugest fan of, like, but in a track this long and this epic, there's room for it. And of course, Carpenter does love his rock music and his metal. Well, steel, kitchen steel. So folks, what do I recommend? Did you get the full extended score? Yeah, I do. If you're a fan of the movie, you're a fan of Carpenter stuff, of course you want those tonalities. And having listened to it again, you know, it changes the oral experience of listening to the score. Obviously, you get the more complete aspect to it, but those little interludes do add a sort of spectral menace, a little calming down, but gradually even they begin to build as well in depth and ominousness. So it all works at the end of the day. But for a more streamlined, relentless, killer approach, I'd have to go with the original release, which is still a very generous, length of duration, and the cues are killers. They are slash-tastic, bombast, with a few degrees of creepiness. A lot of emphasis more on action. This extended one dilutes the action quota quite considerably. That little pitch change. And then you got that meow. I still like it, just not as much. But this does kick into a really good, final segment, final phase, which I do think is awesome. Carpenter was and remains a genius at the keyboard, behind the camera. I'd love him to come back and, well, what I want is, do we need more Myers? Do we? It can't go on forever. It will, but it shouldn't. Bring back Snake. I'm fucking sick of saying this. Bring back Snake. King Kurt can still play Snake now. He looks amazing. He's got the hair. He can fucking do it. He can still get in shape. Fuck me, of course he can do it. I love this. This brings the sort of coastal frostiness and that Atlantic chill from the fog. Atlantic, Pacific, isn't it? It's risen again. It goes higher. This is sensational, this. Okay, the guitar's in there as well. Incidentally, folks, Rolling Stone just put out the 35 greatest horror scores of all time. I love all the scores they mentioned, but my God, what dickheads compiled that list. Rolling Stone though, innit, you know? Everything is prog rock and synth. There's barely any orchestral stuff in that lineup. And the top two are Halloween and Halloween 3. Now, ordinarily I'd be like, Carpenter, you rule! Everyone knows you're the best! But no, I love it, but in all seriousness, you have jettisoned so many classic scores from the horror genre. What are you playing at? Go back, revisit. It's just a stupid list. Everything, all the cult stuff is in there to appeal to, you know, the prog rockers and you know, the gothic babes, people who are in the know, young in the know about the horror genre in general. Folks, this is going to cut out any second, so but luckily we're coming to the end. Keep it real, keep it Celtic, keep it kilted. Be happy. Listen to synthesized sound scores and watch out for guys in masks with big knives. See you all later. The night he came home to play synth. Too loud.